somebody is going to be really, really cheesed off here. It won't be so bad for Sid Justice because he's generally cheesed off anyway. He just cheesed off very well at this time, which is 1992. It's February 1992. It's the WWF. It's Superstars of Wrestling. And last week, we were told by, lots of people. Sean Mooney, Mean Gene Okerlund, and also Vince McMahon, that Jack Tunney, the definitely president, not figurehead, definitely president of the WWF, was going to tell us next week who the number one contender was for Ric Flair, for his championship. And there are 5 of them. Only one can, you could have a fatal 5-way. You could do that now, you see. In those days, no. So there's only one person who can do it. Now, of the 5, you've got Hulk Hogan, definitely not going to get... the immortal Hulk Hogan, definitely not going to get it. Roddy Piper, who is the Intercontinental Champion at this time. Ooh, yeah, whole bike ticket. Macho Man Randy Savage. The Undertaker, rest in... Oh, damn, I didn't get it. And, Sid Justice, breaking a sweat just by talking. And the first thing we see is a press conference. Gentlemen, calm down. See, they're all from the press. There's so many people from the press there. Really are. They've not packed the room with staffers from the WWF. They might not have done. There might be genuine interest from the World Bodybuilding magazine, for instance. Or the WWF merchandise catalogue, something like that. However, we're going to be told by Jack Tunney who is the number one contender. And Ric Flair's there first. Doesn't even want to see it. He walks out before it's announced, but he gives us a little woo, and a little, to be the man, you've got to beat the man type thing. He is wearing a rather gaudy sweater. I mean, they always say that he's dressed to the nines all the time, Ric Flair, and he did seem to be in the 80s. Maybe he's given up. He's got a shirt under a high neck jumper. It's not good, And who's going to be definitely not Hulk? Oh, it's Hulk Hogan. Yes, says Hulk. Yes. Later on, we will have an advert for chewable vitamins for kids. Hulk Hogan's chewable vitamins for kids. Because you only need to say your prayers and eat your vitamins, kids, to get the 48-inch pythons. That's all you need to do. Anyway, Sid Justice is not very happy. He will be very angry later on. But when they talk about superstars not being very happy, they interview Sid Justice, of course. That's his default mechanism, not being happy, but intense. He's intense. But first of all, Randy Savage is interviewed, and he doesn't seem upset at all. Well, Hulk Hogan's great, and I hope he does well. Those superstars are really angry. Okay, right. Scott Colantonio and Kevin Catlin are facing the Beverly Brothers. I wonder who will win. Now, the Beverly Brothers here, great. And you've got the genius giving us a doggerel type poem, Lanny Poffo, of course, who's their manager, talking to the Cheez-It eating, it seems to me, or some kind of snack eating. It looked like Cheez-Its to me. Tape round the glasses wearing Jameson, who will become is he already their manager, the Bushwhackers manager by this time? Did he debut at the Royal Rumble 1992, my favourite Royal Rumble? Don't think he did. I think he's being introduced here. Anyway, we see him quite a lot. We'll see him, you can see a close-up of him later on. Anyway, he doesn't seem to have the kind of charisma or character to carry this off. And that, I think, proved to be the case. Right, the Beverleys, Bo and Blake, are lovely here. Blake drop toe hold into a headbutt and a power slam. Blake gut wrench suplex, as Perfect says, because Mr. Perfect and Vince McMahon are commentating. Perfect says, there's a wrestling move. Doesn't quite know what it is. It's kind of a gut wrench suplex. It's kind of I suppose it could be seen as a half and a half. But they probably hadn't got a name for it this time. Bo gets a snap bear off the top, which is lovely. And then a throw-up face buster for the pin. They did look excellent. And I wonder why they didn't have more of a run. I think maybe they didn't have much beyond the character they were given. There's a bit of spit on the lens there. Spit. Maybe it was from the blah that I did. Anyway, you got up close and personal with me there. Yeah, I think probably they had the kind of, well, they're arrogant heels and they're supposed to be landed gentry. I think they were if I first remember. And I remember this. I was there at the time. Not there at the arena, but I was around at the time watching WWF. I think they were supposed to be posh. And they didn't have much past that. Anyway, the boss man will have his way with Terry Davis. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, oh, it's finished. Yeah, nasty spine buster. It did look like Davis didn't tuck his head, and his head appeared to bounce off the mat, I thought. And that kind of side slam sort of urinagi thing that he does, the boss man for the pin. No, absolutely not. Okay, so here is interesting because we've got Chris Chavis, who of course is being introduced this week. And he is facing Tatanka. Not Tatanka, he's called Tatanka. Pat Tanaka. He's taken the Tatanka, of course. It's his debut, but Pat Tanaka. Of ding 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 Oriental Music and the Orient Express. They were only around last year. Now here he is, not looking very happy at being a jobber. Because actually, he's a lot better than a jobber, isn't he? To be honest. There's a tomahawk chop, or, as Bob, what's he called? Bob Geigel? Bob Coddle would call it in Mid-Atlantic, a tomahawk chop. Tanaka gets a back kick. Then Tatanka does his war dance. And a flying tomahawk chop for the pin. It weren't great. Then we see past WrestleManias, because we're heading for WrestleMania 8, folks. It was not great. Okay, IRS is facing Bob Bentley. We see Jameson again. He hits a backdrop, a smooth elbow drop. In fact, several of them. He's a great wrestler, Mike Rotundo. And then the write-off and the pin. This was probably his most charismatic role. And he ain't very good at that. Right, here's Papa Shango. It's his debut. It's the first time we've seen him. And he's in a room with lots of candles and he's ha-ha. They give him loads to say. And he's got, it sounds quite erudite. I will in the WWF. And they didn't give him loads to say after this. And at the end of it, he does that thing, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, he's really kind of pushing it. And he will, of course, in the very near future, set someone's feet alight. Because that's the kind of thing you really want to see. Okay, we've got El Matador Arriba. That's, of course, Tito Santana versus Bob Morgan. We've got El Matador, and first of all, Vince McMahon says, well, look at Papa Shango. What do you think of Papa Shango, eh? To which Perfect replies, Already we could see it wasn't going to work. Yeah. Right, there is a punchline from the Matador, El Matador. Not a clothesline, not a punch, a punchline. Oh, by the way, the WBF magazine is currently available if you want to go and seek that out. Not many did, I don't think. There's a headlock from El Matador, which is worked, and then a nice drop kick from him, very nicely done. And a fireman's carry. Perfect tells McMahon it's a fireman's carry, and McMahon says, yes. As if he didn't really know. And he says, well, you know, you're the colour man. Oh, we got a bit of a pull back of the curtain there, didn't we? Back in the ring, we've got an El Matador backdrop, a knee lift, a forearm to the back of the head. He does that kind of thing where he's doing that, you know, with the kind of bullfight thing, which I don't like particularly. And it's got a Spanish name, but really it's just a punch to the back of the head. And that's the pin. Here's the funeral parlour. Oh, yes. This is weird. Because, let me put this in context for you. Very recently, Shawn Michaels will split quite incontrovertibly from his Rockers partner, Marty Jannetty, by putting his head through the barber shop, you know, the barber shop, Brutus's barber shop window. Out comes Sensational Sherry, who is in love. She's found her perfect man, the man of her dreams. It's Shawn Michaels. Now, you know, oh, Shawn, you know we're going to, I think he's cute. I think he's sexy. We're going to have that. She's going to be his valet, isn't she? Or manager, probably more like valet. But here, she's saying how wonderful she is. She's still got the dollar sign on her cheek, and she is still with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. So, of course, Paul Bearer asks about this. Oh, what about Ted DiBiase? That sort of thing. And she says, oh, Teddy Bear just wants me to be happy. He says he's left the door open if I want to go back. It's weird. It sounds like it's some kind of open relationship where they can all have kind of parties where there's sexual activity and stuff going on. Bit strange. Right. Pete Sanchez and Jim Cooper are facing LOD, who don't attack immediately. As soon as the bell rings, they do, though. Animal dropkick, nasty clothesline, Hawk big boot. It's rather too close, actually. There's a slam, Hawk gets a head crank, Doomsday Device, and it's the pin. The only thing that was exciting about this, or interesting, was that Danny Davis is the referee, who was supposed to have been banned for life, wasn't he? Right. Undertaker is facing Mickey J. Again, I wonder who's going to win. The Undertaker batters him, gets a big boot and a flying clothesline, which looks great. Gets the tombstone, as Perfect says, twice in fact, your head isn't meant to bend that way. It wasn't funny the first time you said it, so when you said it again, that's even worse. Very short work for The Undertaker. That's the end of your wrestling for this week, but Sean Mooney has a Repo Man who's going to face the Big Boss Man, a Repo Man promo, which I've seen the week before. As he says, he's not got the information, not got the kind of great promo, so he's laughing through it. You don't know, I went in into your, I got your, and he holds up what looks like hubcaps. I got your trash. What do you mean? It's a couple of hubcaps. They're supposed to be trash can lids. I don't know, it doesn't work. And I'll tell you what also doesn't work. Sean Mooney calling him the Repossessor. No, he's called Repo Man, you fool. Anyway, that was, I think it was the 2nd of February 1992. It was bloody awful. But you know what? It warms the cockles of my cold heart. Ta-ta.